You probably clicked on this video because you want to know how these 4 books got me over 1 billion views and made hundreds and thousands of dollars of revenue. Money, 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 views, 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 attention, attention, attention. It's what we want in today's economy. Everyone wants to make a little extra money. They want to get some views. They want to get some attention. They want to grow their business. They want to market their business. And these 4 books that I have right here are absolutely incredible. Shout out to the artists that writ them. Of course, I highly recommend picking up copies of these and, reading them for yourself. I have a lot of notes throughout just tons of these books. And also, by no way am I sponsored by these authors. I have no relationship to them. I've never even talked to them. I just wanted to share my advice and my tips from reading these books that I picked up that I got so much value from. And I actually took the lessons from the book and applied them to my YouTube business, which helped me get millions and millions of views. For those of you that don't know who I am, I have been making YouTube videos for a very long time. These are all my YouTube awards. There's 4 ones with 1 million subs, and then we have all these other awards right here. And then we're also missing some of my diamond play buttons, but I keep those up there because I really need to hang them up. They're just sitting in the closet right now. But I share those awards with you not to brag, but to let you know that I've built multiple channels on YouTube, over 10 million subscribers. I've been making YouTube videos for 12 years, so I've learned a lot about getting views, getting attention, and obviously growing a YouTube business. So let's dive into some of these books, and I'm going to share with you some of the lessons that I've learned. So the first one is This is Marketing by Seth Godin. Class, if you could open your book and go ahead and turn to page 106. I'm just kidding. Well, let's just read some of my notes here. These are some of my most important takeaways from this book right here. One of the lines in this book that really got me thinking is, why are the people who don't choose you correct in their decision to not choose you? Just think about that. I had to think about that so much that it left me stumped for almost an entire day. And I love that quote so much that I made it my LinkedIn profile banner. But it really makes you think, why are the people that choose to not click on your video, why are they correct that they didn't click? Just think about that. You could also apply this situation to any scenario. Why are the people that didn't buy something from your business correct that they didn't buy something? Why is the person that didn't watch your entire video from start to finish correct that they didn't watch the full video? What are things that you're missing? And that line is going to make more sense as we follow up and I share with you some of these other things. The next one is, the way you see the world isn't nearly as important as the worldview of those you seek to serve. I absolutely love this quote. The way you see the world is not as important as your audience. It's not as important as your customers. You need to really, really step into their shoes, peel back their emotions like an onion, and really understand them in order to make a viral business, a viral YouTube channel, or whatever it is. The next line that really got me thinking is, begin with a group we seek to serve, a problem they seek to solve, and a change they seek to make. Never start with a solution. So basically what this is saying is, start with a problem, start with a change, start with something that your viewer or your customer really wants. Don't start and just give them a solution. I mean, there's a lot of really heavy hitters, really good lines in this book, but this next one really changed my perspective on my audience and how I make YouTube videos. And that line is, people aren't going to spread the word because it's important to you. They'll only do it because it's important to them. And basically what this means is that if your YouTube channel, if your business is important to you, no one cares. It's only if it's important to the viewer, it's important to the customer. This is one of the things that I did when I was growing my YouTube channel, and I didn't really know I was doing this, but I just did it. And I knew that I had to make people laugh. I had to make people smile. I had to upload a video where someone could watch it and just want to share it with their friends, because I knew it was so important to make an incredible viewer experience in my YouTube videos. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons that I was able to get all these awards and grow this big channel. The next line that I really took home out of this book is, if there's no connection, we can't make things better. And I absolutely love that, because you really have to connect with people emotionally or whatever it is in order to make things better, in order to make them laugh, in order to make them make a decision about your channel and watch some more videos or go into your business and buy a product. You have to connect with people somehow. And that line brings me to my next book, which is one of my favorites by John C. Maxwell. It's The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. Now, one of the most important things about running a business, running a YouTube channel, or even just being in a company is that you have to learn how to communicate with people. Communication is truly everything. If I'm a terrible communicator, there's no way I can run a company like I'm doing right now with 30 employees. There's no way I can communicate with my audience effectively and, motivate them, inspire them, and put emotions into my videos. There's no way that I can communicate with my boss to get a higher pay and move up in the company. Communication is everything. And there's a lot of really, really good stuff in this book about learning how to be a very good communicator. But I took some of my favorite points and I listed them down that I have been applying to my life. The first one is law number 4 in the book, and it's called the law of preparation. And basically what the law of preparation says is that you cannot deliver what you have not developed. You cannot speak that which you do not know. You cannot share that which you do not feel. You cannot translate that which you do not have. You cannot give that which you do not possess. And basically what this is saying is that you cannot communicate with someone if you haven't done something yourself and you haven't felt it yourself. Perfect example, I'm communicating directly with you guys on how to build a viral YouTube channel because I've done it multiple times. And that's the whole reason that I built this channel, the Blueprint channel. But this is saying that I cannot speak on things that I don't know. And that's not what I do. I only speak on the things that I know. That's why I'm making this video, because I learned so many things from these books. I applied them to my life. I learned certain lessons, and now I'm sharing with you those lessons. But that's a very powerful thing to understand because there's so many gurus, so many entrepreneurs out there that have these coaching businesses that try to coach you on things that they haven't even mastered themselves. So very important line. The next one that I really liked was law number 6. It is the law of content. It says if content is king, then communication is queen. What value does content have if it's not communicated to anyone? And basically what it's saying is great content begins with understanding your audience. And it's so funny because this is actually like just reversing my entire YouTube career. I only read this book recently, but when I read this chapter, number 6, it truly just I was like, wow, this is exactly what I did on YouTube to make a viral channel. And what it says here is that great content begins with your audience. You must understand them, what motivates them, what they need, what they can offer. When you don't craft your content to fit them, you lose them. So you have to understand who you're communicating to, your audience. What are their desires, their emotions? What things do they like? What things do they hate? And this is something we talk about a ton inside Blueprint. We talk about a ton on this channel as well, is that you really have to understand everything about your audience in order to be a good creator. So when I read that, I looked back at my entire career and I was like, well, I guess I did things right, obviously, because that's one of the things that I really focused on. Even 6 years ago, I would always focus on that. I would always focus on my audience. I would always be obsessed with, what video is going to make them laugh? What joke is going to make them share this video with their friends? What type of video edit is going to make them say, whoa, this is the coolest video I've ever seen. I want to watch another video next week. The next one that I learned a lot from is law number 7, the law of connecting. And John Maxwell specifically states in this law number 7 that this is the most important idea in the entire book. And it's simply because great communication is about others. There's simply too many speakers and business people and entrepreneurs that put all their emphasis on their content, on their product, when in reality, it's about the customer. It's about the viewer. So basically, a lot of YouTubers get obsessed with their videos. They always obsess over, how can I make a better video? How can I get 1,000 subscribers? How can I get 1 million views? When in reality, it's all about the viewer. It's not about your videos. So very, very important things I learned from this book. And it just felt really good to read a book like this and know that I have been applying these things even before I read the book. This book is incredible. I think it might be the first Seth Godin book I ever read, but it's basically about transforming your business by being remarkable. How can you stand out? How can you be a purple cow? How can you be so unique that people will seek you out? Instead, for this book, I'm not going to go over my notes from this book because I really want you guys to pick up this book and go get it because it's an incredible read. Instead, I want to share with you what I applied to one of my YouTube channels from this book. So the channel we're talking about is the Unspeakable Plays YouTube channel. So this channel right here, this is one of my gaming channels. It currently has almost 8 million subscribers and 1,200 videos posted to the channel. And one of the big takeaways that I got from this book is making truly unique one-of-one gaming videos. Like, how can I make a gaming video that no one else has ever done? And what's weird is I would do this on my other channels, but I feel like I just needed a reminder when I read this book, and I was like, why don't I make one-of-one videos on every channel? Why am I just doing it on this one channel? So then I started doing it on my gaming channel. And again, I was already doing it. I just needed a reminder, and this book was a nice reminder. Sometimes when you read these books, you already are doing some of the things in the books, but it's nice to get a reminder of what you're doing and make sure that you're on the right track. That's one of the things that I love about reading. So basically what that means is I started to try to think of video ideas that I've always wanted to do in real life, but I just never did. So one of the videos that I thought of was Minecraft, but I dig down in real life. And this video got 19 million views in 2 years. And it's something that I always wanted to do, but I just never did it. I don't know. I just don't know why. And it just pushed me to finally do that video. Another video idea is this video right here. Whatever I do in GTA happens in real life. This was a very, very unique idea. Got 11 million views, but it's exactly what the video is. If I do something in GTA, like do something bad, then it's gonna happen to me in real life. I thought it was a very, very unique idea. But that's kind of the point of my first tip there. The next thing that I learned is how can I make remarkable videos that impact an audience member in many ways instead of one way. So one of the things I would do when I was making YouTube videos is I would try to just focus on one emotion. Like, okay, this video, I'm just gonna make people laugh. That's it. I thought, why can't I impact my audience in multiple ways? Why can't I make them laugh, but also give them tension, but also give them this emotion and this emotion and this emotion? So basically I wanted like 5 to 6 different emotions in every single video, from happiness to tension to charm to all of these different things. Why can I have multiple emotions in one video? Now, obviously we're getting a little advanced here when it comes to making YouTube videos, but that is one of the things I started to focus on. The next thing that I focused on and learned from this book is creating videos that generate word of mouth, get people talking about them. Now, this was always a goal that I had. Even before I read this book, I had the goal to make videos that people would talk about, but I didn't ever like intentionally do it. I don't know why. It was always a goal and I always tried to do it, but then what I started to do is intentionally thinking of video ideas that people would talk about. Now, unfortunately, I didn't actually achieve this on my gaming channel. Maybe I did, but I did achieve it on my Unspeakable channel. So if we type in Unspeakable Amazon house, check this out. So this video right here, I bought a house on Amazon. This video got 8 million views in 11 months. And to be fair, I didn't think of this video idea with the intention to generate word of mouth, but I was hoping that it would generate word of mouth. So it's not like I thought of this video idea and I was like, oh yeah, people are gonna talk about this. I know they are. I mean, I was just trying to think of a good video idea. But let's actually search up Unspeakable Amazon house. I wanna show you something. So if you go over to the news tab, look at how many news articles covered this. We got the New York Post, Realtor.com, we got Daily Mail, we got the Express. I don't even know what some of these websites are. We got Newsweek, we got Entrepreneur magazine covered that. That's actually crazy. But my point is, this video instantly went viral outside of YouTube because I think a lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people thought it was crazy that you could actually buy a house on Amazon. So it got people talking, it got people discussing, and it ended up discussing so much. I even believe like our mayor or our governor ended up tweeting out, but it got so many people talking about it that it went viral outside of YouTube. So I thought that was incredible. Again, I didn't make this video with the intention of people talking about it. I just made it because I thought it was a good video idea. But then the after effect of that is a lot of people talked about it because it was a good idea. It was an idea worth sharing. But give your audience the ability to spread word of mouth. So they talk about this a couple times in this book, is not just creating products that generate word of mouth, but actually encouraging the people that buy your products to talk about them. So for example, what can you do on YouTube? If you have a YouTube channel, you can say, hey guys, the next 5 people that leave a comment in the comment section below, I'm gonna give them a shout out in the next video. Or hey guys, if you go comment on this, then I'm gonna give you a shout out. Or hey, if you go comment on this, I'm gonna give you guys $5 or whatever it is. There's a lot of ways you can get creative with how to basically make your viewers feel valued. And that brings me to my last book, which I love. This book is called Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. 10 ways to share your creativity and get discovered. This is an incredible book. It was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. When I first picked up this book, I didn't really read it because I don't know why, I just assumed I knew what the book was about. But once I started reading it, I was like, man, this is way better than I thought it was. So really, really good read. But let me go over some of my notes that I have here. One of the big things that stuck out to me is taking people behind the scenes in your content, in your videos, in your lives, maybe. So artists and creators and all these people are kind of trained to keep their creative processes and their messy processes to themselves. They don't really show it off online. A perfect example of that is Instagram. If you go to Instagram, Instagram is basically a highlight showcase of everyone's lives. You only see their best moments. You see the best things about them, but you never see the messy things. You never see what's going on behind the scenes. You never really see these things. So what Austin is trying to say in this book is that you should take people behind the scenes because they want to see that, because at the end of the day, we are all human and we want to see how other humans operate. And it's an incredible way to connect with your audience. And of course, he also talks about that you can decide how much or how little you want to share. Like, you don't have to share your entire life, but you could just show your sketches, your influences, you know, maybe stuff that you're working on that's in progress, like just small things that you work on a daily basis that no one really sees, because it can form such a unique bond with your audience. And honestly, no one's really doing stuff like that. The next big thing that I took away from this book, and this is honestly a lesson to anyone in the entire universe, is that stop worrying about how many people follow you and start worrying about the quality of people that follow you. And this one really just hit me hard because I have always been obsessed with my audience, but I've also been obsessed with how can I get to 20 million, 50 million, 80 million subscribers. Like, I've always wanted to just level up those numbers. But in reality, I kind of stopped caring about that because I would rather have 20 million people that are, you know, diehard fans and they're very, very quality audience members versus having 40 million people and, you know, they're not very quality fans. They don't really care about my videos and they're not, you know, hopefully that makes sense. But I really just took that and I stopped focusing on just begging people to subscribe to my channel and begging people to like my videos, because I was like, if I can make a video good enough, they should want to like my videos. They should want to subscribe to my channel. And if you actually watch my previous videos over the last couple months, I really haven't asked people to subscribe on a lot of my vlogs. I don't ask people to subscribe or hit the like button simply because I want a more quality audience member. And I feel like the quality audience members, you don't have to ask them to subscribe. You don't have to ask them to like your video. A true quality viewer is going to do it just because they love your videos, whether you ask them or not. So that's one of the things I've been focusing on. And honestly, it's a really big thing that a lot of people should focus on. You shouldn't worry about how many followers you have, but instead the quality of the followers that you have. So those are my notes on these 4 books that helped me get possibly billions of views on YouTube and make a lot of money. So if you guys want any of these books, of course, go get them. Again, we have 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. We have This is Marketing. We have Purple Cow, and then we have Show Your Work. Shout out to the artists that put such hard work into making these books. again, guys, you can pick up these books and you can learn an entire life lesson from some of these artists, and you can read it in 2 to 3 weeks. Books are very, very powerful. But thank you guys for watching. This is definitely a different video for sure. If you guys like stuff like this, then be sure to click the subscribe button, and I'll see you all next week, and we'll talk more about knowledge. Hey, look, I'm just trying to get you guys to get views and get wealthy. That's all I want for y'all. So I'll see y'all next week.